communication strategies. Clarify what you missed efficiently. We often hear some parts of what a customer says, but miss others. And yet, despite having heard part of the message, we still ask people to repeat everything. This is kind of a novice move. It calls on customers to repeat more and, as a result, to exert more effort. And we know that customers are lazy. A better, but still fairly easy approach is to repeat back what you heard. So in this case, where the caller says, "Hi, there's a funny wah 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 wah," you might say, "There's a funny R on your gown?" This approach shares more information and may get a laugh from your customer, but it could sound more professional. So a still better option is to ask a general question based on the information that you did catch. So for example, "Sorry, what is it that's funny?" Of course, in the ideal situation, you will really know your products and your customers. And that will allow you to make pretty good guesses about what they're saying, even if you didn't catch everything. At an expert level, you'll make a guess and then confirm it with your customer. To arrive at the level of expertise where you can make accurate guesses, know your product, know possible responses to the script you follow. You may find it helpful to sit down with your script and write out the most common responses to the various questions that you ask customers. That way, you'll identify these common responses more readily, even through difficult-to-hear speech. Once you get good at guessing, it's still essential to request confirmation. Confirming your understanding provides that additional bonus of making your customer feel listened to. It's particularly important to take this step at the end of the call, but you should also always confirm phone numbers, email addresses, and names. Letters and numbers are hard, so let's take a look at some strategies for confirming letters and numbers specifically. When it comes to numbers, teens and multiples of 10 often sound similar. But by stressing the appropriate part of these words, you can more effectively differentiate them when you confirm them. So you'd say, "Is that 15 or 50? If you're confirming dates, say the day of the month as well as the day of the week to provide a double check. So for example, you'd say, "Is that Monday, June 7th?" rather than, "Is that June 7th?" So that addresses numbers, but what about specific letters? Using the NATO phonetic alphabet allows you to both double-check important information and it demonstrates professionalism to your caller. You can always print out the NATO alphabet while you're learning it, but you do need to memorize it. So let's start. A is in Alpha, B for Bravo, C for Charlie, D for Delta, E for Echo, F for Foxtrot, G for Golf, and H for Hotel. I for India, J for Juliet, K for Kilo, and L for Lima. M for Mike, N for November, O for Oscar, and P for Papa. Q for Quebec, R for Romeo, S for Sierra, and T for Tango. U for Uniform, V for Victor, W for Whiskey, X for X-ray, Y for Yankee, and Z for Zulu. One fun way to memorize lists is to put the items of the list into categories. So to help you memorize the NATO alphabet, let's do that here. Let's start with things that you would call men. Can you pick out 5 names for men? Pause the video while you do this. Great. So I included Papa along with Oscar, Romeo, Victor, and Charlie. All right, for the next one, what about 6 things that might be involved in a night out with friends? Pause the video while you pick them out. I included Bravo, as in at the end of a show, along with some dances, a little karaoke mic, and maybe a little bit to drink. Now, what about 5 things that relate to traveling around the world? Again, pause the video while you pick these out. Of course, there's no right answer, but I picked Sierra, or a chain of mountains. I picked hotels and places like India, Quebec, and the city of Lima. Now, you'll get more practice with the NATO alphabet in the quiz that's coming up, but for now, Just remember that at the end of the day, by relying on confirmation rather than requesting blanket repetition, you can make your calls run more quickly and more easily for both you and your customers.